And now to discuss this further, I'm being joined via video chat, public affairs analyst Francis Chilaka. Mr. Chilaka, many thanks for coming on. I appreciate you for doing this with us. Let's get started quickly because we're pressed for time. The federal government has now suspended its decision on a new minimum wage for workers, agreeing to meet with stakeholders before it comes out with a tentative wage review. What are your thoughts on this decision that they've made?
I think the federal government is taking advantage of labor. The federal government is not being sincere because, it is shocking to hear the minister saying that Mr. President needs to do further consultations. And then, the thing that really comes to mind immediately is the fact that when Mr. President decided to remove the fuel subsidy that has brought all this quagmire, he didn't hold any consultations. When they decided to increase, to hike the electricity tariff, there was no consultations. So a lot of things this government has done that they didn't have to consult. But I'm surprised that when it now comes to what affects the ordinary Nigerians, the government is talking of consultation. This is it's the height of hypocrisy. For me, that is what it is. But I'll quickly put this, that labor itself messed up, big time when they called off a strike without getting anything at all. They shouldn't have called off that strike. You use strike to pressure government to do something. And, everybody thought that everything was in place, that labor knew what they were doing. But calling off that strike has actually, put them in a very precarious situation. They shouldn't have called off that strike in the first place.
Right. Now, let's go back. You just said that the presidency didn't, ask for stakeholders to, ask for consent or maybe opinions or decisions, consultation in this matter. So how does the Federal Executive Council's decision as well to step down the memo impact on the timeline for the new minimum wage implementation, right? And what are the potential consequences of the delay? Because you're saying now about the strike, they should have continued with the strike until they got something tentative. With this hold, what will be the impact?
The way it is, I think that what is going to play out, it looks like the government wants to treat labor as an underdog because the government seems to want to say that they have all the A's in their hands and all of that, because it is obvious that government is not ready to play ball with labor. Government is taking labor for granted. That is what it boils down to. Honestly speaking, that is what it boils down to. So labor needs to, as it stands now, I really don't know what labor is going to do. Are they going to call off another strike? If labor calls for strike, Nigerians may not likely support that strike. Nigerians may not likely support it. So as it is, labor will be faced with accepting whatever government decides to push out to them. And it looks like that is what government is going to do. Government is playing and they understand the game. Don't forget that Mr. President is the master of strike and all of that and protest. He knows how to hold protests. He knows how to use protests to get what they want. So what we have playing out is what they call reverse psychology. And that's what the government is playing on labor right now.
Right. Let's circle back to the consultation process, right? How would this process address the concerns of the state governments and other stakeholders, like who may have, differing opinions on the new minimum wage, whether it's 62,000, 100,000, or remain as is?
Well, I really don't know what kind of consultations Mr. President is looking at. Don't forget that a tripartite committee was set up, and it appears that right now that committee's report or the works of that committee has been thrown into the dustbin. So if you're talking about consultation, and you say you want to consult with governors, how many months is it going to take them to do this consultation? This consultation with government, with party, with everybody involved, is taking for too long. We just saw bills getting approved without, due consultations. We saw that the judiciary got an increment in their salary. There was no consultation. So I think it's just a mind game that government is playing. And I don't see anything coming out of this consultation. What will probably come out is that government will wake up tomorrow and say, oh, we have had consultation, and this is what we want to pay. Labour can do whatever they want to do. It's going to come to that. But I pray it doesn't come to that. I pray that, Mr. President would also understand that, people are finding it difficult to survive in the country. Things are getting very tough, and their purchasing power is low. So government needs to be very sensitive in whatever figure they're going to throw at Labour.
Well, renewed hope is what we hope for. Well, Mr. Chilaka, many thanks for doing this with us. We appreciate you for coming on.